Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make the poncho that you have seen at the beginning of the video. This is a perfect fall project and I hope you guys fall in love with this design as much as I did while creating this design. So this is an original, first seen on my page, and for the yarn I used Katopu baby natural cotton. And I used a total of 5 balls, approximately 5 balls, which is a total of 1000 meters and a total of 500 grams of yarn. So do your substitution. If you don't have this same exact yarn, just have around 1000 to around, let me say, 1200 if you're making for a bigger size. And then the hook that I'll be using today is a 4mm crochet hook, as you can see. And then I used a pair of scissors, a darning needle, and a measuring tape. So let's get started. This project is worked in 2 panels that are later on joined to create this lovely poncho design. So if you'd like the written pattern, it's already available on all my online shops, and I'll be leaving all the links in the description box below. So we're going to start off with one of our panels, and then we shall just remake the same exact panel, and then we shall start assembling the poncho, as you'll see later on. So you're going to grab your yarn and your 4mm crochet hook, and you're going to start off with a slip knot. You're going to twist your yarn, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through. So that's my slip knot. So I'm going to start with a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then into the very first chain that you did, you're going to go in there with a double crochet. This will leave us with a chain of 4 here, and that chain of 4 counts as a double crochet, chain 1. And then you're going to make a chain of 1, double crochet into the same exact chain, chain 1, double crochet into the same chain, and then chain 1 and double crochet into the same chain. So we've literally double crocheted 4 times into the same chain, but separating with chain 1 spaces in between the double crochets. So you should have a total of 5 double crochets, including the first chain 3. So this chain 3 counts as a double crochet, then chain 1, this is the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and the fifth one. And that marks the end of row 1. For row 2, you're going to start with a chain of 6 and turn your work. You're going to go into the next double crochet with a total of 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to make a chain of 3 and double crochet once in the next double crochet. So yarn over, go into the next double crochet and place a double crochet there. Chain 3, go into the next double crochet with a total of 3 double crochets. Chain 3, and then skip 1 chain, and then go into the next chain with a double crochet. So that marks the end of row 2. So one thing that you should note is the first chain 6 counts as a double crochet, chain 3, and then we end the row with chain 3 double crochet to balance what we have on this side and on this side. So let's go on to our next row, which is row 3. You're going to make a chain of 6, turn your work. You're going to increase the 3 double crochets to 5 by placing 2 double crochets in the edge stitches. So 1 in the first stitch and another stitch into the same exact stitch. So these are the edge stitches that I'm talking about. Those ones get 2 double crochets, And then in the middle stitches, you get 1 double crochet. So this is a middle stitch, it will get 1 double crochet. And then this is an edge stitch. It's a stitch on the edge of the 3 stitches, so that one will get 2 double crochets. So that way we have increased 3 stitches into 5 stitches. And then you're going to make a chain of 3 and double crochet once in the next double crochet, chain 3, increase the 3 double crochets to 5, just as we've done here. So 2 double crochets in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets in the last stitch of the 3 double crochets. And then from here you're going to make a chain of 3, skip over 3 chains, 1 2 3, and into the 4th you're going to place a double crochet to wind up row 3. So you should already see the triangular shape forming, and this is the top of the triangle and this is the base of the triangle. Let's go on to row 4. All right, so for row 4 you're going to start off with a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1, and then you're going to turn your work and go into the same exact stitch with 1 double crochet. So we have literally created a V-stitch here at this point. And then you're going to make a chain of 3 and increase the 5 double crochets to 7. So remember I told you to increase, you're going to place 2 double crochets in the first stitch and then 2 double crochets in the last stitch, and then in the middle stitches you only place 1 double crochet. So let's do that. 2 double crochets, 1 in each of the middle ones, and then 2 double crochets in the last one. So that brings us to 7 double crochets. We've increased our 5 to 7. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, and then we're going to do something different this time in the middle section. So you're going to place 1 double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet into the same exact stitch. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, increase the 5 double crochets to 7 double crochets, just like we did here. So placing 2 double crochets in the first stitch, and then 1 double crochet in each of the middle stitches, 1, 2, and 3, and then 2 double crochets into the last stitch of the 5 stitches from the previous row. So we've increased our 5 stitches to 7, and then you're going to make a chain of 3, skip over 3 chains, 1 2 3, and into the 4th you're going to go in there with 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet into the same exact chain to balance exactly what we have at the beginning of the row. So remember, our row started with a V-stitch on the edge and we have to bring it back here. So this marks the end of our row 4, and your work should look like this. All right, so for our next row, which is row 5, you're going to start off with a chain of 6 and turn your work, and you're going to go into this double crochet, this one, and place a total of 3 double crochets into the same stitch. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, and this time we're going to decrease the 7 stitches to 5. And to do the decreases, you just eliminate the edge stitches this time. So you yarn over, skip the first stitch, and double crochet into the next, and then double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, 1 2 3 and 4. and this will leave behind one more stitch, which you're not going to put anything in there. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, and then in this next double crochet of the 3 double crochets in the middle, you're going to place 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and then make a chain of 3, and then you're going to place 1 double crochet in the next stitch, which is the middle stitch of the 3 stitches here. You just place 1 double crochet and then make a chain of 3 and 3 double crochets into the next stitch, which is the last stitch of the 3 double crochets from the previous row. So 3 here, 1 in the middle, and then 3 in the next. And then you're going to make a chain of 3 and decrease our 7 double crochets to 5. So eliminate the edge stitches, skip over that first stitch, and place 1 double crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. So this will give you a total of 5 double crochets. Eliminate the last stitch, don't place anything there, and then you're going to make a chain of 3, and you're going to go into the next double crochet with a total of 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to make a chain of 3 and skip over 1 chain, and into the next chain you're going to place a double crochet. So this is what your row 5 will look like. Let's go on to row 6. For row 6, you're going to make a chain of 6, which counts as a double crochet chain 3. Turn your work, and then you're going to increase the 3 double crochets to 5 double crochets, and I think by now you know how to increase. Place 2 double crochets in the edge stitches and then 1 double crochet in the middle stitch. That's how you increase the 3 stitches to 5. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, and then you're going to decrease 5 stitches to 3 stitches, and the decreases, the process of decreasing and increasing doesn't change. So if you have 5 stitches here, eliminate the first one, go into the second one and place a double crochet, and then continue to double crochet until the second last stitch of that group from the row below. So you eliminate this one and this one. So now we have 3 stitches here, and then you're going to make a chain of 3, increase the next 3 stitches to 5. So 2 into the first stitch, 1 into the middle stitch, and then 2 into the last stitch. That's how we increase 3 stitches to 5 stitches. And then you're going to make a chain of 3 and double crochet once in the middle double crochet, chain 3, and mirror the same exact thing that we have on this side onto this side. So to do that, you're going to increase the 3 double crochets to 5 double crochets, and then chain 3, decrease the 5 double crochets to 3 double crochets by eliminating the edge stitches, chain 3, increase the 3 double crochets to 5 double crochets, and then you're going to make a chain of 3, skip over 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th chain you're going to place a double crochet, just like that. So that marks the end of row 6. We're going on to row 7. For row 7, you are going to do something which resembles what we did on row 4. So creating a V-stitch on the edges and then increasing our 5 stitches to 7 and then decreasing the 3 stitches to 1. So let's see how to go about that. For row 7, you're going to start off with a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1, and then you're going to turn your work. And then you're going to go into the very first stitch with a double crochet. So that will create our V-stitch. Now you're going to make a chain of 3 and increase 5 stitches to 7 stitches. So make sure the edge stitches get 2 double crochets and then the middle stitches get 1 double crochet. So the last stitch gets 2 double crochets. That's how we increase 5 stitches to 7 stitches. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, eliminate the edge stitches. So you're going to just place 1 double crochet in the middle double crochet of the 3 stitches from the previous row. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, increase the 5 to 7, chain 3, and now we are going to create another split, as you can see here. So after your chain of 3, into the next double crochet, you're going to place 1 double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet. That's a total of 3 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces. And then you're going to make a chain of 3 and increase the next 5 stitches to 7 stitches. Just like that. And now you're going to make a chain of 3 and decrease the next 3 stitches to 1 stitch. So you just place a double crochet in the middle stitch of the 3 stitches. Chain 3, increase the next 5 to 7. And by now you should be knowing how to increase the stitches. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, skip over 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, you're going to place 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet into the same exact chain to create the V-stitch just as we have on the opposite side. So this marks the end of row 7. We have a split, and then we have the V-stitches. Now you're going on to row 8. For row 8, you're going to start off with a chain of 6 and turn your work. You're going to go into the next double crochet with a total of 3 double crochets. And then make a chain of 3 and decrease your next 7 double crochets to 5. So eliminate the stitches on the edges and just place 1 double crochet in each of the middle stitches. So this will give us a total of 5 double crochets. And then make a chain of 3 and increase the 1 double crochet to 3 by placing 3 double crochets into that 1 stitch, just like that. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, decrease the 7 double crochets to 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 3. So we've reached the middle split, and you're going to place 3 double crochets in the first double crochet of the split. Chain 3, 1 double crochet into the middle stitch of the split, and then make a chain of 3 and 3 double crochets into the last stitch of the split. So just like that, we've made it to the opposite side. Let's see what we have. So you should notice that at this point we have already finished one leaf completely, and now we are building up another leaf. So this is going to turn into 5 into 7 and then start closing down into 1 stitch. So the leaves are going to keep growing and shrinking, keep growing and shrinking as we keep going. So we are on the opposite side. You're going to make a chain of 3 and decrease the next 7 stitches to 5. This should be a walkover for you by now. When I say decrease, you know exactly what to do. When I say increase, you know exactly what to do. So chain 3, increase the 1 stitch to 3 by placing 3 double crochets into the 1 double crochet. And then you're going to make a chain of 3 and decrease the 7 to 5. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, skip over the next chain 3, and into the double crochet of the V-stitch, you're going to place 3 double crochets. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, skip over 1 chain, and into the next chain, you're going to place a double crochet. So that's how we wind up row 7. So row 7 is finished. Now we're going on to row 8. Row 8, we start with a chain of 6. Turn your work. That chain of 6 counts as a double crochet chain 3. Increase the 3 double crochets to 5. Just like that. And then make a chain of 3, decrease the 5 double crochets to 3, and keep doing that. Chain 3, increase the 3 double crochets to 5, chain 3, decrease the 5 double crochets to 3. So now this is where the pattern starts getting interesting, when you know exactly what to do. Look at that. And then chain 3, increase the 3 double crochets to 5, and then you're going to make a chain of 3 and double crochet once in that middle double crochet, and then you are going to make a chain of 3 and mirror the same exact thing that we have on this side onto the opposite side. So let's finish up row 8 together. So increase 3 double crochets to 5, chain 3, decrease 5 double crochets to 3, and then make a chain of 3, increase 3 to 5. So you can see how the pattern repeats itself. You just keep doing that all the way down. Chain 3, decrease 5 to 3, chain 3, increase 3 to 5, and then you're going to make a chain of 3 and skip over 3 chains, and into the 4th chain you're going to place a double crochet, just like that. And I want you to see a few things that will keep you on track when it comes to this pattern. You should notice that when you create a V-stitch, it comes back after 2 rows. So you can see a V-stitch here, and then 2 rows, then a V-stitch, and now we have 2 rows. That means the next row, which is going to create a V-stitch on the edges. So that means it starts with a chain of 4, and you double crochet into the same exact stitch. So we are at row 9 at the moment, and we are going to repeat rows 7 to 9 again and again, and you're going to keep noticing that the stitches in between keep growing and growing, and the leaves keep increasing and increasing to create that lovely effect. So another thing that I wanted to point out is the row that creates the V-stitch on the edges. For example, row 7 is the same exact row that creates a split in the middle. So that means on our next row, which is supposed to be row 10, row 10 is going to resemble row 7. It starts and ends with a V-stitch, but at the same time creates a split in the middle here. So I hope I've explained the stitch well. You're going to keep working until this measurement here at the base of your triangle measures. You're going to spread out your arms, and I'm considering somewhere after my elbow. You're going to spread out your arms and get that measurement. For me, that was around 40 inches. So if you have 42 inches, make sure you work your piece until the base of your triangle is that measurement. So for me, I considered 40 inches and it was just perfectly fine. If you want yours to be a little longer, then you're going to do even more than 40 inches or however long that you want your poncho to be, especially the sleeves when you spread out your arms. So I'm going to keep working. And then another thing that I wanted to point out is you should end on a row that starts and ends with a V-stitch. That's the row where you're supposed to end before we go on to the next step. So keep repeating rows 7 to 9. Rows 7 to 9 again and again, and keep growing your work. Don't forget to always create a split on the row that starts and ends with a V-stitch. You can also keep track of that point by saying 2 rows in between the splits. So there's a split here, then there are 2 rows, then we create another split, then there are 2 rows after that, then we create another split here. So make sure you don't miss those points, because at some point, if you make any mistake here, it's going to eventually show when your piece grows, and we don't want to do that. So keep growing, and I will meet you back and let you know how many rows that I ended up doing for my first panel. Alright guys, so we continued working our triangle, until we got a total of approximately 40 inches at the base of the triangle. So I'll be recommending a number of rows for the different sizes, but for me I did a total of 31 rows. And you should make sure that you end with a row that starts and ends with a V-stitch. That's the row that resembles row 7, row 4, row 10, the one that starts and ends with a V-stitch. So once you get to that point, we're now going to start leveling up the sides a little bit, and also to create the sleeve opening of our poncho. So for the next row, this is row 1 of leveling the sides. You're going to make a chain of 3 and turn your work. You're going to skip over the V-stitch, skip the chain 3 space, and skip 2 stitches of the 7 double crochets. So yarn over, skip the V-stitch, skip the space, skip 2 stitches of the 7 double crochets, and double crochet once in each of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you'll be left with only 1 stitch here. You're going to leave it unworked, and you're going to make a chain of 3 and increase the next 1 double crochet to 3. So place 3 double crochets in the 1 double crochet, chain 3, decrease the 7 to 5 by eliminating the edge stitches and working 1 double crochet in each of the middle stitches of the 7 double crochets. Just like that. So you can see 1 is left unworked. Chain 3, increase the double crochet to 3 double crochets, and you're going to repeat that. So basically what we are repeating right now are the instructions for row 5 all the way across until towards the end, where I'll show you how to wind up. Alright, so we're coming to the end of the very first row of leveling up, and after placing your 3 double crochets in this standalone double crochet, you're going to make a chain of 3, skip 1 stitch of the 7 and go into the next with 1 double crochet once in each of the next 3 stitches, so that you have a total of 4 double crochets at this point. And then you're going to skip the next 2 stitches, this and this, skip the chain 3 space, skip this double crochet, and skip the next chain. So in the next chain, you're going to place a double crochet. So just like that, we are done with row 1 of leveling the sides of the poncho. So as you can see here, the direction of the piece is already changing. So let's go on to row 2. All right, so for the second row of leveling up the sides, you're going to start with a chain of 3 and turn your work. You're going to skip over the next 2 double crochets and double crochet into the next stitch. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, increase the next 3 double crochets to 5 double crochets. So by now you know how to increase. You place 2 double crochets in the edge stitches and then 1 double crochet in the middle stitches. So you increase the 3 to 5 and then chain 3, decrease 5 to 3, chain 3, increase 3 to 5, and then repeat the same instructions as row 6 all the way across until towards the end of the row, and I'll show you what to do next. All right, so we've come to the end of row 2 of leveling up the sides, and I've just increased the 3 double crochets to 5. From here I'm going to make a chain of 3, and I'm going to skip 1 double crochet and double crochet into the next stitch, just like this. And then I'm going to skip the next 2 double crochets and double crochet on top of the last chain 3 of the previous row. So that marks the end of row 2 of leveling up the sides. Now we're going on to row 3. You're going to make a chain of 3 and turn your work. Skip the next double crochet, which is this one, and skip the next chain 3 space, and then increase the 5 double crochets to 7 double crochets. So 2 in the first stitch, and then 1 in each of the middle stitches, and then 2 in the last stitch. So that way we have increased the 5 stitches to 7 stitches. And now you're going to repeat the same exact process as row 7. Just follow the same exact instructions as row 7 onwards until towards the end of the row, and I'll show you how to wind up. All right, so we've come to the end of row 3 of leveling up the sides, and I've just increased the 5 double crochets to 7 double crochets. And then I'm going to skip the next chain 3 space and the next double crochet, and then place a double crochet on top of the chain 3 on the edge of the previous row. So just like that, we are done with row 3. Row 4, you're going to make a chain of 3 and turn your work. And then you're going to skip over 2 stitches and double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, and into the next stitch, place a double crochet, 2, 3, and 4, leaving 1 stitch unworked. This one. And then you're going to make a chain of 3 and increase the next 1 double crochet to 3 double crochets, and you're going to repeat the same exact instructions as row 8 until you come towards the end of the row, and I'll show you how to wind up. So as you can see, we are now leveling up the sides of our piece, of our panel here. So go ahead and repeat the instructions for row 8. Decrease the 7 double crochets to 5 double crochets by eliminating the edge stitches and placing 1 double crochet into the middle stitches. And then chain 3, increase the double crochet to 3 double crochets. So repeat that until towards the end of the row, and I'll show you how to wind up this row. So we've come to the end of row 4 of the leveling rows, and I've just increased this standalone double crochet to 3 double crochets. Now I'm going to make a chain of 3, skip 1 stitch of the 7 double crochets and go into the next stitch with 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, so that you have a total of 4 double crochets. So just like this. Now you're going to skip over the 2 double crochets and place a double crochet on top of the chain 3 on the edge of the previous row. Place your double crochet there. Now we are going to repeat the same exact instructions as we are going to repeat rows 2, 3 and 4. So 2 to 4, again and again. Make use of the timestamps. You're going to repeat rows 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 until this length here is half of your intended sleeve circumference. So just keep working your rows 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 of the leveling of the sides of the piece until this little length here is half of your intended sleeve circumference. I'll let you know how many rows that I will end up doing for main, and then we shall go on to the next step. Alright guys, so I ended up doing a total of 7 rows of leveling up the side of my panel, and we have a total of about 5 inches. So that means my sleeve circumference will be a total of 10 inches because we're going to do 2 panels. This is the very first panel. So if this is 5 inches up to here, that means the sleeve circumference is going to end up being a total of 10 inches, which is even a bit bigger because this is where the poncho is going to sit. Alright, so basing on the measurement that we've got, and also basing on the fact that we are going to increase a few rows upwards when it comes to the shaping of the poncho, I believe this measurement should be the same for each and every size. Now, after your 7 rows, you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. And then we're going to go to the base of the triangle and we're going to locate row 7. At row 7, the row that starts with a V-stitch, you're going to attach your yarn. Insert your hook and attach your yarn, just like this. Alright, after attaching your yarn, we're going to make a mesh row all the way across. We're going to first work it on one side and then we shall do the same exact thing on the opposite side. So you're going to make a chain of 6. Actually, instead of chain of 6, we shall do chain of 5. So after your chain of 5, you're going to place a double crochet into the next row, chain 2, a double crochet into the next row. So the chain of 5 at the beginning of the row counts as a double crochet, chain 2. So chain 2, double crochet into the next row, chain 2, double crochet into the next row, just like that. So these mesh rows are going to help us drop the poncho so that it's not up on the collarbone. You're going to repeat chain 2, double crochet into the next row all the way across until the end of the row. So this is what you're going to create. Alright, so we've repeated the same exact pattern all the way across, and you should make sure that you end on a row with a V-stitch because that is our very last row. So chain 2 and go into the V-stitch at the end of the row with a double crochet. So this is what you'll end up with, and we're going to go ahead and create another row. So make a chain of 5 which counts as a double crochet chain 2, turn your work and double crochet into the next double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into the next double crochet. You're going to do this all the way across until the end of the row. Alright, so we've come to the end of the row and I'm still chaining 2, double crocheting into the next double crochet, and then you're going to make a chain of 2 and skip over 2 chains and double crochet into the next chain. So that marks the end of the second mesh row at the base of the triangle on one side. Alright, so once you're done with this, you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, pull through, and we're going to repeat the same exact thing on the opposite side. So you see this mesh pattern, we're going to attach our yarn into the 7th row on the opposite side as well. Into the V-stitch, the row that starts with the V-stitch, attach your yarn, make a chain of 5 and double crochet into the next next row, and repeat the same exact process. Chain 2, double crochet into the next row, chain 2, double crochet into the next row. So go all the way across until the end, until you place a double crochet in the V-stitch on the edge, and then you make a chain of 5 and come back until the end of the row. And I'll meet you back when you have that ready. So you can see how we are kind of creating a neckline for our poncho. Alright, so we're coming to the end of this row. I'm chaining 2, skipping 2 chains and double crocheting into the next chain of the chain 5. So this is what you'll have, and you're going to make a chain of 1, cut your yarn. So just like that, we are through with the mesh pattern on both sides, as you can see. Now you're going to repeat the same exact process for your second panel. I'm going to go ahead and make a second one identical to this one, and I'll be back to show you what to do next. Alright, so when it comes to the second panel, when you're winding up your mesh row, your second mesh row, you're going to make a chain of 2, skip 2 chains and double crochet into the next chain. So that's the end of the row, and this time around you're going to make a chain of 1 and leave behind a long tail for attaching the 2 panels together. So you're going to just make sure you leave behind a very long tail that we are going to use to attach the panels together. So that means this side is done, and I'm going to go ahead and work on the second side. Alright guys, now we're going to assemble our work, as you can see in the images below, the images on the screen, and we're going to use the long tail that we left behind on our second panel to attach the mesh rows together, to attach the panels together. So you're going to go into the first chain space of the mesh, and you're going to use the long tail you left behind, and you're going to place 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3. So at this point your work may be a little bit heavy, and make sure you're doing this on the wrong side of your work. And we're going to go into each chain space with a total of 3 single crochets all the way across. That was the reason why we left behind a very long tail, so that we could use it to attach the panels together. So keep doing that until you make it all the way across till the end of the row. Alright, so we're coming to the end, and I'm placing 3 single crochets in the last chain space, just like that. And at this point you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, pull through, and let's see what we have. We have joined the 2 panels together. You can see the same line that has been created, and when we turn it to our right side, this is exactly what we have. We have a total of 4 mesh rows because 2 are on this side and 2 are on the other side. So we're going to fold over our work onto the wrong side again and work the second half of our piece, joining the mesh stitches or the mesh pattern together so that the 2 panels can be joined. So just like this, you're going to repeat the same exact process that we've done on this side, placing 3 single crochets in each chain space all the way across towards the edge, the outside edge of the piece. Alright guys, after joining this side of your poncho and the opposite side as well, you are going to still work on the wrong side of your work. So remember, this is our sleeve opening where we leveled the rows on the sides of the panels. This will be our sleeve opening. Now we're going to go ahead and attach some stitches under the sleeve, just a short distance. So what I want to do is start from this side, moving towards the sleeve. You can see the sleeve opening is here. So you're going to locate the 5 double crochets here. So into that stitch, the 5th double crochet, you're going to insert your hook and attach your yarn, and you're going to go into the chain 3 space with a total of 2 single crochets, and then go into the double crochet stitches, placing 1 single crochet, attaching both panels together. and this is the third double crochet. Place a single crochet there. Into the chain 3 space, you're going to place 2 single crochets, and then into the 4 double crochets, you're going to place 1 single crochet into each. And just like that, we are done attaching under the sleeve, as you can see here. So the next thing that we are going to do is to flip over our work onto the right side. Don't cut your yarn at this point. Just flip your work over so that you're working on the right side of your piece. I'm going to get my ball of yarn and pull it to the right side of my work. And now we are going to clean up our sleeve opening, as you can see here. So get that loop from your very last stitch, your last single crochet stitch, and we're going to work around the sleeve opening. You're going to make a chain of 3 and go into each row with 3 double crochets. Keep working 3 double crochets in each row without placing a double crochet in those spots here. Just go into each and every row with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Go into the next row with 3 double crochets. And repeat that all the way around until you come back to the beginning of the round. Alright, so we've come back to the beginning of the round, and I've just placed 3 double crochets into the last row, and I'm going to make a slip stitch into the very first double crochet of the round. So just like that, we are done cleaning up the edge of the sleeve opening. So you're going to make a chain of 3 and front post double crochet into the first stitch, back post double crochet into the next stitch, front post double crochet into the next, and back post into the next. So you're going to alternate between the 2 stitches all the way around. Alright, so we're coming to the end of round 2, and I'm placing a front post in the next stitch and then a back post in the next. It doesn't matter what you end with. So after this, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the first chain 3 of the round, just like this. Now for the next round, you're going to make a chain of 3 and front post double crochet in each front post, and then back post in each back post. Just keep alternating between the 2 stitches, but make sure every front post gets a front post and every back post gets a back post double crochet. Alright, so we are done with round 3 of the ribbing, and I've ended with a back post double crochet. Now I'm going to make a slip stitch into the very first chain 3 of the round. So you can repeat that round until you get the thickness of the ribbing that you want for your sleeve, but for me, I'm going to stop here. Chain 1. I've only done 3 rounds, but you can do 3, maybe 5 rounds or 4 rounds, depending on the thickness of the ribbing that you want. So now that we are done with the sleeve ribbing of one side, you're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing on the opposite side. As you can see, both sleeves are finished and we've created the ribbed effect on our sleeves. This is where your hand is going to come through like this, something like this. So once you're done with both the sleeve ribbings, we are now going to go onto the neckline and we are going to create this same exact effect just to make it look a little bit more finished. If you feel like this is optional, then you can leave your poncho like this, but for me, I love a well finished crochet piece, so I will introduce the ribbed effect onto the neckline of my poncho. So you're going to grab your yarn and your hook, and we're going to repeat the same exact process that we have done on the sleeves of our poncho. So start with a slip knot and attach your yarn in any row. So I'm attaching it here in row 1 of one of the sides of my poncho. So my piece is becoming heavy because this yarn is quite heavy, and I'm glad that I actually picked it. It's dense, so you feel like you're actually wearing something as opposed to acrylic yarn. So you're going to make a chain of 3 and place 2 more double crochets into that same exact row, and then you're going to go ahead and keep placing 3 double crochets in each and every row around the neckline of the poncho. So we placed 2 double crochets in the first one because the chain of 3 counts as one of the double crochets. So continue to place 3 double crochets in each and every row of the poncho, also including these extension rows, the mesh rows. Those ones will also get 3 double crochets. So go all the way around, placing 3 double crochets in each and every row around the neckline of the poncho. Alright, so we've made it all the way to the beginning of the round, and I'm going to place a slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round. Insert your hook, pull through all. So that marks the end of round 1. And just like the sleeves, just like what we did for the sleeves, we're going to start creating our front post and back post double crochet. So repeat rounds 2 and 3 of the sleeves onto the neckline. So you just make a chain of 3 and front post double crochet into the next stitch, and back post double crochet into the next stitch, and you're going to just keep alternating between the 2 stitches all the way around until you come to the end of the round, and you will slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round, and then chain 3, then you'll start round 3 with a front post in each front post and then a back post in each back post double crochet, and that will basically be it. So I'm going to go ahead and work my neckline ribbing, and I'll show you what that will look like after I'm done with the neckline ribbing. Alright, so we've made it all the way around, and we've done a total of 3 rounds for the neckline ribbing, the same exact thickness that we have for the ribbing on the sleeves, as you can see here. Now you're going to get your darning needle and weave in all the ends on your piece. Get your darning needle and weave in all your ends, and let's see the final look of our project, guys.